Welcome to the Deep Mind podcast, where truth speaks louder than noise. Late nights, deep thoughts, searching for the meaning. World moving fast, but nobody is healing. Everybody talking, but nobody listening. Too much division, too much pretending. We speak about life, pain, purpose, and power. Conversations that can change you in an hour. From the struggle to success, from faith to survival. Real stories, real people, real revival.
Open your mind, let your soul breathe. There's more to this life than what we see. No fear, no limits, no disguise. Truth lives when the deep mind rise. Welcome to the deep mind, where the real ones speak freely. Conversations that inspire, touching hearts deeply. We question the system, we challenge the lies, searching for wisdom, opening eyes. This is the deep mind, the deep mind.
From world issues to spiritual battles, breaking down the chains and breaking mental shackles. Voices from the culture, voices from the streets. Every episode bringing truth to the beat. We talk growth, family, pressure and pain. How to lose yourself and find hope again. No judgment here, only understanding. A place where every voice keeps expanding. One vision,
one truth,
one mission.
To uplift,
educate,
motivate minds.
Leaving darkness far behind.
Yeah. Welcome to the deep mind, where the strong survive the storm. Every story has a purpose. Every lesson helps us grow. We speak life, we speak truth. For the people worldwide, this is more than a podcast. It's a movement of the mind. The deep mind, the deep mind, the deep mind, the deep mind.
The Deep Mind podcast. Think deeper, live wiser. Welcome to the Deep Mind podcast, where truth speaks louder than noise. Late nights, deep thoughts, searching for the meaning. World moving fast, but nobody is healing. Everybody talking, but nobody listening. Too much division, too much pretending. We speak about life, pain, purpose, and power. Conversations that can change you in an hour. From the struggle to success, from faith to survival. Real stories, real people, real revival.
Open your mind, let your soul breathe. There's more to this life than what we see. No fear, no limits, no disguise. Truth lives when the deep mind rise. Welcome to the deep mind, where the real ones speak freely. Conversations that inspire, touching hearts deeply. We question the system, we challenge the lies, searching for wisdom, opening eyes. This is the deep mind, the deep mind.
World issues to spiritual battles, breaking down the chains and breaking mental shackles. Voices from the culture, voices from the streets. Every episode bringing truth to the beat. We talk growth, family, pressure and pain. How to lose yourself and find hope again. No judgment here, only understanding. A place where every voice keeps expanding. One vision,
one truth,
one mission.
To uplift,
educate,
motivate minds.
Leaving darkness far behind.
Yeah. Welcome to the deep mind, where the strong survive the storm. Every story has a purpose. Every lesson helps us grow. We speak life, we speak truth. For the people worldwide, this is more than a podcast. It's a movement of the mind. The deep mind, the deep
Deep Mind podcast. Think deeper, live wiser.
right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today is the 7th day of June, and the year remains 2026. I'd like to welcome you all, those of you who are joining us by way of Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. We'd like to say this is the Deep Mind Podcast. Of course, your host is your humble servant, Nush. And tonight, if you have been following our page, we will be discussing everything that has to do with our beloved Liberian organization in Australia called the Federation of Liberian Community in Australia, FOLICA for short. In a short while, I will bring my panel on screen as we dive into this conversation. The time is 9 p.m. from where I sit and broadcast. And I'd like to say welcome, every one of you. If this is your first time joining the show, I encourage you to please like and share. Invite your friends, share with your different platform groups, because your friend may not be my friend and my friend may not be your friend. But on a very important note, I'd like to say thank you. Big congratulations to all of my panelists who agreed to come on stream tonight to share in this rich discussion. And so, without much ado, I'd like to say welcome, welcome, and welcome. The Federation of Liberian Community in Australia, FOLICA for short, is what we are going to be discussing tonight. So if you there, you can grab yourself a coffee or whatever you want to do as we get into the discussion tonight. The Federation of Liberian Community was established, FOLICA for sure was established to address the challenges of our community. Just stand by with me 1 second. I'm just going to make some adjustment to something. Yeah, I just got a notification from someone that I'm just going to make adjustment to it. Okay, so let's do this together. FOLICA was established to represent and advocate for Liberian across Australia. While many members acknowledge that the organization has faced significant challenges over the years, the question remains: should we abandon the Federation of Liberian Community in Australia, or should we work together to rebuild the organization? Deregistering FOLICA may end years of division and dysfunction, but it could also erase the valuable platform that has been established, that has the potential to serve our community. On the other hand, a meaningful structural and reform focus on transparency and accountability, inclusiveness, youth participation, and strong advocacy could transform the Federation of Liberian Community in Australia, FOLICA, into a national body that was always meant to be. However, some argue that the Federation of Liberian Community in Australia should be deregistered because it has become a source of division, hurt, hypocrisy, misconduct, and disunity among members, leaders, and the wider Liberian community. They believe that the organization has drifted away from its potential and original purpose for uniting Liberian and advocating for the community interests. On the other hand, others argue that FOLICA should continue to exist because no organization is perfect. They believe the problem facing FOLICA are not reasons to abandon it, but reasons to reform and transform it. They argue that dismantling the organization will only create a vacuum and further weaken the voices of all Liberians living in Australia. But the real question is FOLICA beyond repair, or can it be transformed into a united, transparent, and effective organization for community purpose? Joining me now to discuss other days are Mr. Robert Smart, Ma'am Boa Cardio, and Miss Zia, who is also happens to be the CEO of Open Secret. Let me say welcome to all of you as I bring you on stage. Welcome, Ma'am Boa. How are you? I'm just
You?
going to, yes, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. And also,
Pleasure.
Mr. Robert Smart, welcome. Robert, are you
Smart,
there?
we can hear you.
We're not hearing you, Robert. So if you're having trouble, you might have to go out and come back in. And I
Mm.
also bring on stream Zia, the CEO and the one and only CEO of Open Secret. You are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank, thank you for joining us tonight. So, while we wait to bring Rabel back on screen, Rabel, are you there? Okay, he might be having some issues, so
Yeah.
we will continue. We will continue the discussion. He having some technical issue. All right, let me start with you, Mamboa. Once again, I'd like to say thank you for taking up the time to join us tonight as we discuss everything that has to do with our organization.
Mm.
Let me give you the opportunity to formally introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been a member of FOLICA and what do you do? The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Nush. Look, I don't know what I'm going into the town I was born in Liberia, the village my family come from, because Folika is for all Liberians. So as long as I'm Liberian, I should be part of Folika. But I will just go straight into a little bit of nitty and gritty to say is that I was the first female to ever contest this position. If my memory can set me right, I think it was in 2018. I put my hands up and say, look, I want to be part of this organization. And if there is a possibility that I can come on board to be the leader. And then, well, the election went on and someone else took it. And from that time, I've been part of FOLICA actively. I was introduced to FOLICA through Mr. Dennis Gay administration in Western Australia. That's when I was introduced to FOLICA. I heard about FOLICA. I speak to a few of the people that were running FOLICA before that time. And well, I live in Western Australia. I'm a Liberian. I was the first female president of the community here that ran the Association of Liberian Community in Western Australia. Also, so look, the passion is there for leadership. As I can say, I'm a servant, not a leader. The people will lead themselves, and I will serve. So I think that is the little I need to say. I don't want to go into a lot of things, but I will leave it as that for now, and let
Thank
kickstart the discussion.
thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you very much. Now I will try and bring Robert back on screen. Robert, are you there?
Mm, mm.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you. Welcome, Mr.
Mm,
Robert. Thank you. We
mm.
were just going through the process of introductions. Why I got you, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became a part of FOLICA, please.
Hi, good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert from Western Australia. So, as an introduction, I'm a former VP, Vice President for the Liberian Community of Western Australia. I've participated in the community during my tenure. Was exposed to the community leadership and had some role to play. And also, at some point, myself and Nush yourself as well cross path during the tumultuous interim leadership of Mr. Jala. So I had some role to play in there as well. And that's sort of gave me a bit of background about myself.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And finally, I will go to my sister, Mazia. Can you please tell us and introduce yourself and tell us how you became a part of FOLICA, please?
Okay, sorry guys, I just driving, but well, I think I'm the new one here, but I am Liberian. I know about Africa for I would say since I was younger. teenager, I reckon, when FOLICA first started. Um, yeah, but I became like like part of FOLICA or no of FOLICA totally on the issue or what issue that FOLICA were facing last year when I was given the honor to actually represent Queensland on the election commission board, which was quite interesting. And it's kind of like open my eyes, to the issue that our communities are facing. And one of the things that I know is that, you hear from other people and you're like, oh, okay, but for you to actually be involved and you actually see the issue that our community going through, and then you get to understand this is why we that grew up here in Australia, we kind of like distance ourselves from the culture and we tend to go towards other people culture. And then I found that there's a need that we need to actually like really work hard so to bring the community together, because as a young person, when the community were together and they were FOLICA were doing what it actually meant to do, people like me will not get lost within the system. So yeah, it was really great. It was a great eye opener too. So yeah. So I'm new basically.
Thank
Yes.
All right. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Now, without much ado, we're going to get straight into the discussion tonight. Of course, all of you here have a position on the topic on the discussion, but I think it would do us a great service if we can lay the premise as to where our discussions is going to flow tonight. So, as we all have said, we some way somehow we all have been a part of FOLICA, whether it is from its inception in 2011, or whether we join it down the way like myself in 2023, but we all have to have some role to play in the organization. And I think many of you here will agree with me that over the years the organization has not been living up to its true meaning. We have struggled with leadership, the organization. Because of that, there has been a lot of division among us. There's different group supporting different side. I heard my brother Robert spoke about the interim leadership time of Mr. Marcus Jala, where it was highly contested. There were discussion around whether of his own legitimacy, whether he had the legitimacy to run the group. And we can just go on and on about the whole organization. And over the years, it has never been good. It has never lived up, in my estimation, it has never lived up to its true meaning. Because at the end of the day, you always agree with me that FOLICA was established to bring Liberians together under one umbrella, to advocate for Liberians living in Australia, to demonstrate our strength and unity. But over the years, it has, done the contrary. Now, quite recently, we received information that the governing body, the regulatory body under which the Federation is registered in South Australia as the Consumer and Business Services, or CBS, informed the organization that over the year it has not been living up to its mandatory responsibility in terms of leadership. So as the matter of fact, they were looking at deregistering the organization, declaring it as dysfunctional, and the organization would die. They gave us some opportunity to see whether we could resolve our differences, with the three different parties that was involved. Many of you already know the story. However, most recently, one of our sisters decided, look, I don't want the organization to be deregistered. So she requested CBS to give her some time to take this matter to the court so that the court can give an order under which the organization can then become compliance with the regulatory body rules and regulation. Now, the matter going to court currently, FOLICA is currently in court, and that matter is now being adjudicated by a judge. However, the reason that sparked this conversation now is because of recent we receive information that that party that took FOLICA to court to try and regulate the whole activity of FOLICA has now communicated to the other party that, look, I no longer have interest in this matter anymore, and I have the desire to withdraw the matter from court because it costed me a lot of money to proceed with this whole process. And more precise, the desired outcome, what I perceive the outcome would be, will probably not be good in my favor. So I want to get out of it. Now, what that means is that if that happens, that means when that person submit then that application to CBN and say, look, although I asked you for some time to try and get our organization to resolve this matter so we can get back on par and in good standing with your books, but I no longer have interest in the matter, so I'm not taking the matter from court. Here is that communication to that effect. The understanding is when that happens, then CBS will have no other choice but to go ahead and declare the organization dysfunctional and deregister the organization, meaning we no longer have FOLICA. Now, so that sparked this conversation. What can we do to prevent that from happening? Should we allow the organization to be deregistered and we all go our own way because of all of its long-standing dispute, leadership problem, division, transparency issue, accountability issue? Or should we fight to maintain it and try and reform the organization? That is why today, all of you are here today. Now, so let's begin this conversation. I will give each of you 2 minutes to tell me your position on the matter. One, whether you agree that the organization should be deregistered and the new organization is start learning from the old mistakes and have a fresh new organization with practically the same people coming, but on a different setting? Or should we maintain the organization, fight to maintain it, but however, look for structural and reform changes so that it can do better? Now, I will start with you, Mamboa. You have 2 minutes to tell us what position do you support. The floor is yours.
To listen to this. Well, for me, the question poses question within question for me. When we deregister in FOLICA, are we going to change all the other people's nationality that has the issue? Because there's a issue from the same community that say we're running FOLICA. So are we taking the people to pick them out and say, okay, y'all go to different community. Now, we got new FOLICA, so it will be new nationality running FOLICA also. Because that means we're not getting rid of the issue. The issue is still there if we deregister the organization. That's my point. I got 2 minutes. Then another thing, should we maintain the current structure of FOLICA to rebrand it, to do other things? Yes. This is where the Constitution come in. Our organization that was funded for years and years still has the same Constitution. Because every organization should have the aim, the objective, the vision, the mission, the beneficiary, and all these things should be part of it. But Constitution can be quoted when it's in other people's favor. But if it's not in their favor, they know the Constitution. So look, for me, I may not say yes on deregistering FOLICA. I may not say no. I'm still hanging on there, doing a bit of research. And forming a new body, I may not say yes and I may not say no either. You know, I'm still doing a research too, behind closed door, trying to get other people's opinion as well. Because like I said before, when you brought this, when I saw it on the page, I contacted you right away behind the scene and say, yes, I want to be part of it. You know, the other point that I would pick up again would be, if we deregister FOLICA, that means the history has been erased totally. Then there will be no history again for FOLICA. Do we really want that? Do we want to erase everything?
Let me provide some information for you with respect to that before I go to the other panelists. All right. Now, let me provide this clarification. When we say deregistering FOLICA, it is not us as member that is going to deregister FOLICA. What would happen?
Oh, you're talking about
is that
the CPS,
yes,
the body. Okay,
yeah.
I got
So
you.
what will happen is if this member provide that information to CBS to say, I'm no longer interested in the FOLICA that I told you to hold on to because I was trying to get a court order to regulate FOLICA activities. I'm no longer interested in that, and that communication go to CBS. It is likely that CBS will honor that communication and then go ahead and say, well, the organization we have given you people sufficient of time to try and resolve your issue, to come back to us. You have demonstrated to us that you are incapable of doing this. So thereby we will declare the organization dysfunctional, meaning it's no longer exists. Okay. So the question now, if that happens, what do we do? But can we prevent that from happening?
So good question. Good question. When it comes from the governing body, because we all have to respect the law. Yes, they will have to deregister FOLICA. That means the whole structure go away. We need to bring in new structure. Because are we waiting to go back to these people who have the time now? Who waiting to sacrifice that time to go running after them to say, no, you don't deregister FOLICA. We are waiting. You just said it yourself. Because the people say we can't fix our issue. Because this have been very lengthy. Like Robert said, you said, this is where you boys came on. If you can remember, because there were a lot of things happening and you boys came on. And up to now, it's still happening. Yes. So.
Okay. Let me hold you right there.
Let other people talk. Yes.
Yeah, let me hold you right there. And I'll throw the same question to Mr. Smart. Mr. Smart, you've listened to the conversation. What is your position on this, please?
Good evening, all. Thanks, Mambo. So I think a couple of things. I'll just summarize it. If we are technically dealing with a business, okay, let's say if you have a business and a business run into these challenges, and let's assume hypothetical financial challenges, the logical thing to do, let that business to dissolve and then open a new administration, obviously with different directors, because whoever the directors were at that point in time will no longer be eligible, depending on what role they play in the previous business going down, creating a new business to set up a new business from scratch. But here we're not dealing with a business, we're dealing with a community organization. In as much as I would like to point out that if anyone have actually had the opportunity to read the FOLICA Constitution, I agree with Mamboa. It's really outdated, but it's pretty good. It's really, really good. Obviously, it need a bit of overhaul. It need a lot of changes. I personally don't think the problem in part is the Constitution, but majority of the problem, unfortunately, came from people who ran it, both the predecessors and subsequent people that took over. And Mamboa pointed to the point, a lot of people quoted the Constitution when it suited them, and when they didn't suit them, they sort of like turn a blind eye to it. So it has been a consistent mismanagement of the organization that have put us in the situation where we are. So to answer your question, the position I take is, I think the organization needs drastic reform, serious reform. But I don't think dissolving it would be the way to go. Obviously, that would be out of our control because CBS have a legislation that they have to follow. And if there's a provision in the legislation that allows, despite the organization failing to meet its commitments, if there's a provision in the legislation that allows the CBS to still allow it to continue pending, let's say a group of Liberians across the country write a petition letter to keep it open and then come up with a plan on how they will redress the issue, they can do it. But if there's no provision, then they might be left with no choice to call the organization defunct. But I think it doesn't need to be dissolved. I think it needs serious reform. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold your thought there because I got some very good questions that I'd like to dig deeper into here. But let me go to our sister Zia. So what's your take on this, please?
Okay. Thank you so much for the question. Number one, my take on that, number one, you got to look at the bigger picture. So I get a question to pose to you.
Okay.
This lady who actually decided, because if we all have to talk, I think that I know a lot more about some of the situation that has been happening. So the lady who has decided to take the organization to court and then decide to withdraw and then going back to CBS, does she has the power, because there's other party also involved? So if she go back to CBS, will CBS just take her word and decide to dissolve the organization, or CBS gonna write to the other party that is also involved, which they have been doing, to write to all party that was involved into these particular issues? So that's my first question to you. Just to be, because I think that when you say that when she go to CBS, then it gets CBS that when she no longer involved, she decided to drop this, then CBS going to shut the organization down. So that's where I come from to pose that question. In order for me to give my view, I need to actually understand that.
Okay, I'll provide what I believe will happen. Okay, now prior to this lady taking the organization to court, CBS asked the three parties to this particular dispute to come together, and CBS lay out a time frame and lay out everything that these people needed to do to so that CBS could recognize the organization as a functioning body. Some of those things that CBS listed was: one, they should come together, all three of them, and agree on one public relation officer. They should come together and agree that they will have one means of communication with CBS, meaning through one email. And the rest of the other things, CBS listed a lot of things and gave them a time frame to do that. They failed to do that within the time frame. They were unable to meet together to resolve that issue. So then this lady decided, look, I would take upon myself and write CBS through her lawyer, asking CBS to give them additional time, because she was now taking the organization to court to impress the court, so that the court can have an order made to force the organization to do what CBS has asked them to do voluntarily, that they refuse to do. So what we are all thinking now, if she goes back to CBS and say, look, although I asked you for those additional time, now it's costing me more money to continue this process in court. I no longer have interest, and the potential outcome of what I see will happen, it will not be in my best interest, so I want to withdraw from the matter. We are estimating that if that happens, then CBS will now say, okay, well, it shows to us that these people are, one, unserious. They are unable to run an organization. So let us then just declare the organization dysfunctional and have it deregistered. That is the estimation.
Okay, so what I'm getting from you, this is not a definite result that's gonna happen. It's just a hypothetical or scenario that you are getting to, and so I would like to come in based on the hypothetical scenario that you have come to. I cannot actually give a definite answer, because number one, I will be very frank and honest here. I was part of the Election Commission Board. The reason why it was set up by all state and territory, and there is no blame game. What I see in the whole Liberian community, and as I said, I have not been involved in Liberian community, so I'm a neutral person. When I'm talking from a neutral standpoint. I'm a Liberian, purebred, 120% Liberian, 2,000%. But because of this exact same thing of how the older Liberian has done things in the community, has taken us away into different community. I know more about different culture than what I know about my own Liberian culture. You understand what I mean? And at the end of the day, the whole situation arises because of the identical person that you're talking about and some other people involved as well. So she is not the goody two shoes and she's seeing the cost that is actually coming to her. Who are the people that are suffering? Number one, we have to look at that. And number two, and I think when you're coming from a legal standpoint, we shouldn't be guessing what's going to happen. We should actually have a confirm, like, okay, this is what's going to happen when this happens. Because I know from the very beginning when this whole thing started, CBS communicated to all parties that was involved, and I think if she hasn't to go back according to the legal regulations, CBS has the responsibility to say, okay, there's one party has dropped out. What you two have said, because the extension has been given to all of them. One person come out. So it's not coming.
Uh, okay. She was having some interruption there, but I think she was making a point, and I think she was making a point now. While we wait for her to
Sorry, I'm
rejoin,
back.
I
I'm
think
back. I'm back.
okay.
I'm
Yeah, go
back.
ahead. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Yes. Oh my God. Sorry. Yeah. So my point I'm trying to make, okay, we have to look at this, not deciding on a hypothetical or scenario or what might happen. We should say this is what going to happen, because when you know what going to happen, then you can be able to have that standpoint. And I think what need to happen, right? What need to happen in this thing now? Because they have taken it to court. Even when she go to the court and say, "Look, I want to withdraw," the judge now would look at the other party that in there, because the judge also gave that. And let me tell you, even that person, when the judge said they should go and actually work among themselves to put forward a party, that individual has been refusing. Again, greed. We Liberians disrespect ourselves. They will start with that issue. They will start addressing those issues. Whether you go and open another institution, it's still going to be the same issue that exists today. Because I know
Sorry,
you
I'll
lose.
interrupt you there. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm going to
Go ahead.
interrupt you there because
Yeah,
I
that's
want
okay.
us to stick to the point and not the individual.
Yes.
Now, so
No.
let me switch you a little bit. Let me put you a little bit around. Now, here is the scenario that is now being played. All right. Although that I said yes, there is a likelihood that when this order is made and the cases withdraw, there's a likelihood that CBS could go that route and the organization they can
Mhm.
declare. There is also a likelihood that exactly the point you have made, they might be able to reach out to the other party and say, where are you guys now? Because I'm also of the opinion that CBS does not just want to deregister any community organization. But here is it. Now, I'm going to play the scenario to all of you, and I want to hear your position on it. Because even part of what we are hearing is that the lady who took us to court has also given another alternative to the other party and say, okay, even though I would like to withdraw from the matter, and if I do so, there's a likelihood that the organization would be deregistered by CBS. However, instead of me doing this, I want you guys to now, one of you to take on the road that I took on. Meaning, instead of you being a respondent to the court matter, you take on the role as an applicant so that the order can still go through the court and FOLICA remains FOLICA. Now, my question now to you, you being a member of FOLICA, all of you have expressed here your willingness to see the organization remain, but you have expressed strong desire to see it transform or reform. We spoke about the constitution, all of that. Would you support that those other two parties to the court case take on the matter as an applicant so that that order is made and that order that will guide FOLICA through the next reform process that we all suggesting? Or would you rather let the applicant, original applicant, make her submission to CBS and hope that CBS contact the other party for some resolution. Now, I will start with you, Zia, on that particular question. Let me hear you from there.
Okay. So number one, I still stick by my point, which I was trying to make, which is we still need to continue because the point I was trying to get at, in order to actually solve the root of every problem, if a tree is dying, you cannot go and water the leaf of the tree and you expect that tree to stay alive. You got to keep
Okay.
the tree and water the root of the tree. You can de-register, do whatever it is. I reckon that keeping the organization and maintain the constitution, and because that constitution is way outdated. That constitution was writing to actually serve those people that actually or establish that organization needs. It has never been updated. So it does not serve the purpose for today Liberian within Australia. That's one. So we need to get to the root cause of the issue. The root cause of the issue is that we Liberians need to love one another first and foremost. And we need to start working together and stop saying that you are my friend, so when you do wrong, I have to back you up. We need to stop doing that because we are suffering. We that actually came young, we are detached from our culture. My children don't even know my culture. All they know is like they eat jollof rice, because I don't know. So we need to stop that. You can go and establish 100 new organizations, but when you don't deal with the root cause, we're still going to be talking about this thing. And Liberian respect other people. Going to a white man to solve our issue. This is what our forefathers did when they were not educated. We are educated people. We are living in a civilized society or law-abiding society. We're seeing other culture, Chinese, Indian. We're seeing these people progressing. Liberians are still backward, and this is what made, and I can always say this is what made Liberia still backward. Because what? I will support this person because my friend support this person. Because because this person is my friend, they can never tell a lie. Even when I see them doing the wrong, I will back them. We need to actually approach those things. The organization does not need to be dissolved, does not need to be changed when there is no need for it to be. When there's a change for the organization to remain the same, I stand by that. And we need to solve all of these other issues that I just laid out. That is
Thank
my
you.
point.
I'll hold you there. I'll go to Mamboa. The same question goes to you. Let's hear your thought on this.
First, no, thank you. Thank you again. If an applicant who take a matter to court decide to withdraw from that matter, that means there is something somewhere she have heard. But anyway, we cannot just start assuming. But when you said that she approached the other applicant, because she's the applicant, they are the responder. Because
Correct.
that's how it's supposed to go. The applicant and the responder. I apply, you come to court, you respond to what I accuse you of, right?
Correct.
So, did they agree? She approached them to become the applicant. Did they agree to take on that role? Or she haven't done it yet?
I don't know in full details, but I'm not 200% sure whether that other party has agreed.
Okay. Because that's something too we really need to know. Where's their
But would you
because this
would you support that party to agree? If you were the one, let's say you were the respondent in that matter with all of the things we just discussed, right? You were the
yeah,
respondent in that matter, and you had that opportunity. I took you to court because I
yeah,
say you infringed on my right for this thing.
yeah.
After some time, I'm like, you know what? I want to withdraw, but I know you got interest. Stick on the case. If you were in that position, would you do that?
Look, to be honest with you, number one, I need to know those people first. Because like we're saying, FOLICA need to be restructured seriously if the FOLICA will still be FOLICA. And I agree to what my sister just said, open secret just said, let's stop that behavior because you did something to me, it hurt me. So that position you going for, I'm going to go to Robert and tarnish a repetition. Let Robert, because Robert is my friend. So Robert will come aside. Don't vote for an open secret. Let's start confusing culture with organization. Because there are two things here. Tradition with organization. Oh, this is what we used to do before. So we'll continue to do it. Even though the world have changed. I'm sitting in my place in Western Australia. I'm talking to you all the way in New South Wales. That means the world have changed. If you go on YouTube now, you put plus size women. They are supermodel. They're walking on the walkway. They're dressing. People buying the clothes. The world have changed. We're sticking to the same old thing. We need to leave it first. There are a lot of things. The particular route, if we don't take care of the route, even if FOLICA come back, your restructure FOLICA, those same people when they're part of FOLICA will still go back to court.
Okay, I'll hold you there because there's two important things that both of you have said, and the two ladies on the show have said two things. We keep addressing the issue of root. They go back to the root. I would like to dive deeper into that. So I will hold you there for a second. I'll come to Robert. Robert, what's your take on this?
I agree with the 2 points my boy and our sister made. I'll just say a couple of things. I'll first of all, in response to those two other applicants, because that process is adversarial by nature. So when she took those other people to court, obviously they didn't agree with that decision. So one could perhaps safely assume that they may not be willing to take on that route, because they would argue, well, you decided to take on the matter to court without consulting with us, and you sort of went against us, which, to be fair to the applicant, that was her right to do that. So I doubt if they will. And the second thing is, you're talking about the second point that I wanted to address, and that's what the two commentaries before agree with. You said if a proposal is laid out for both parties to agree to reach a compromise, will that happen? We actually had that, and Nush knows. So when there was a problem between when there was a problem between the interim management committee and the other group that came up, so Nush was on the other side. That was actually thanks to the hard work of Sakama. Sakama actually came up with a very sensible proposal that would have brought the organization, restructured the organization in a way that would suit everybody. But what happened? These people stubbornly refused. They felt, and this goes down, I think, to a deep cultural issue. I'll probably start with the positive. I would say, to be fair, across a lot of diaspora community, Liberians in Australia, across the Federation, have done well professionally. Liberians in Australia individually have done well. That I can say. Like if you look at it, take any fields in Australia, any sort of faculty, you have Liberian in every sector. The only sector I don't know of, maybe it could be corrected, I don't know of any Liberian doctor or any Liberian who's a pilot. But apart from those two professions, any other professions across Australia, there'll be one or two Liberian, and that's something we should be proud of as Liberian, as a group. That's a starting point. However, the negatives is, and I think the two people talk about it, the negative is, unfortunately, is this culture, deep ingrained cultural thing that we have to get rid of us. Because person A brought out the idea, and I have some sort of personal grudge against Nush, I will not support it. I will go to Mamboa, I'll go to Open Secret to honor my Nush efforts. And that has been the problem. Every time someone will come up with a very good idea to advance something or to fix a problem, but because we've held personal grudges for too long, we'll do everything in our power to undermine that person, to frustrate whatever the person wants to do until that whole thing disappears, and see that person fail. And when that person fails in our endeavor, we rejoice. And that's where, as a community, both state level, at federal level, we have failed. If you look at other communities, you look at from Southern Africa, they are progressing. Why? Because they may have differences. That's true. It's not that they don't have differences, but if my community wins, then it's good for everybody. What's good for everyone, probably be good for me. But I think this thing going, and it goes down to the key question of respect, because we have this disrespect between one another, we will always continue down the path of undermining people. And unfortunately, that's where we have found ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put our attention a little bit to one of the key issues that has come up in all of these conversations. And I keep hearing from all of you guys about the root cause of our problem. Now, direct question to you, and I'll start with you, Robert, since you just ended this conversation. What would you outline as the root cause of why FOLICA is where it is today? If you had the opportunity now that you do have to summarize from the years that you've been associated with FOLICA, what would you say are the root cause or causes for why FOLICA is what it is today?
I'll start with saying, praising the, I'll start first of all on the positive note before going to the negative. Those people, how do you call them, the founders of FOLICA, I would like to praise them because what they established was a very good thing. If you actually go through the Constitution, I have the Constitution before me, Section 3. I'll just read two parts, the aims and objectives of FOLICA. Section 3.1c, it says to promote unity, peace, love, care, and concern, and foster respect, harmony, tolerance among all Liberians, as well as between Liberians and all other people in organization. And subsection E says to seek and protect the common social, economic, political interests and assist in addressing the needs and welfare of all Liberians across Australia. So if you look at the founding document, the intentions behind it was very good. But unfortunately, I think after the first administration, the subsequent administration have done a very poor job, has set a very bad example. And that bad examples or mistakes were repeated by everyone. And other people have tried. There have been genuine effort. Like if you ask me, during the time of Marcus Jala, we tried so many avenues, but then people deliberately who didn't like, probably had a personal issue with Marcus, frustrated everything he attempted to do, or Marcus team, the Jala team, everything along the way until they saw the administration fail. So the beginning, the founding document was good, but there was no good example all the way from the beginning to the end. The second part of the question was, what would you outline for solving the problem? I think from my perspective, it will have to be a consultative process. So it will have to be a process wherein you say, my approach would be, okay, let's set up a committee. Let's set up two committees. One committee would be to run the organization, and another committee would be an advisory body, just a body that will advise. And then on the people who are going to and have a transition period, have a term of reference, write a term of reference and say, okay, this committee will carry out these reforms. Now the advisory body will be people who have formally participated in FOLICA or people who have been party to disputes in FOLICA. But the body that will be carrying the reform should be someone neutral, someone who have never participated in FOLICA ever. So that way, people looking from the outside cannot say, okay, these people have some sort of bias. The advisory body can give advice, but that advice will not be binding. Obviously, like, as you know, in Australia, we have royal commissions on different things, different issues. Royal Commission gave a number of recommendations, and it's up to the government of the day to cherry pick which recommendation they will go by. At times, there may be political interest behind which recommendation they follow, but the point will remain that in order to close the gap, the advisory body will be advice only given to the committee who will carry the reform, but that advice will be persuasive at best and not be binding. And so that means the transition body will have to do whatever they think is necessary to reform the organization at the scope. That's what I would do.
Thank you. Same question to you, my boy.
Is very significant, very important. And that was what we tried to do when the interim body was set up, but it didn't work. But that root cause we're talking about is we live in a country that people appoint people by their strength, not their weaknesses. Not because Nuj is my son, Then I appoint him because he's my son. We live in a Western world. We should start adapting some of the beautiful things we are seeing and we are learning. We are working organizations that there is a CEO who will come in. People don't like the CEO, but yet instead the CEO making millions for the company. The board of directors know he has that capacity. He's capable to do it. So they work with him. They're not working with him on a personal level. Because this is where this FOLICA, and like my son Robert just said, they lay out there the Constitution from the beginning, give a clear view and beautifully written. That's why when some of us saw it, because some of us were people who want to unify people, we're not there for division. Even when that person is my child and they are in confusion with somebody, I come in as a mother. I don't come in to scatter. And I will tell you now, I will be dealing with my son or my child more than I can deal with the other person. Because why? I will point out all his things he did wrong before I go to that other person so he can know. I try not to be biased, that the kind of person I am. And what I know about Liberians, that the kind of people y'all don't like. Y'all like somebody, when y'all doing wrong, they say, yeah, do it. No, and y'all like them. They, oh, they person a good person. No. For me, I'm not brother like that. I got one advice. I got a lot of advices my mother taught me. But once she says that live with me and I continue to practice till to the day. She said, when you're doing something, the person I said, boy, stop. What you're doing is not right. That person love you. The other people there are people waiting to see your downfall. You know? To just conclude before you get to the other person, other people have been in FOLICA, been doing beautiful job. They have been doing things and been doing things. At time now they become mentor. Let them step aside. Let other people come in too. Let them help to boost those people up, to point them in the right direction. Because sometimes, if I'm doing something, it's close. If I'm making a mistake, I can see it. But you outside of that, you will see my mistake. You will see the flaws. You will see everything. So when you say stop, I should turn and listen. But like Robert read the Constitution was written, but it was what particular people would say, if it is not the person, it can't be done. If somebody come up with ideas, let's visit the idea first before we start criticizing. Let's weigh it. Where's the positive of this idea? Where's the negative? Okay, let's take out this. Let's add in this. Because we've been with FOLICA for a long time. So let's take out this, guys. We can put in this, this will work along with this. That's what the community need. They don't need criticism. We need unity. We need strength. We don't need weaknesses. Like I can tell people, I don't work on people's weaknesses. I work on their strength. And I use your weakness to direct you. I'll leave it there for now.
That is powerful. All right, and the same question to you here. You spoke very strongly about root causes of FOLICA problem. How would you summarize that? What have you observed to be the root causes of why FOLICA is what it is today?
Thank you for the question, and thank you to my other colleague, Mr. Rabbit, and somebody, Mama, what's your name? Mamboa. Sorry, yeah, I can't see properly. It's very dark here. Thank you guys for all your input, and it's really good to kind of like listen to you guys because you've been in it for a long time. But when I talk about my root cause, Mr. Nush, I would like to turn to you in the first place because I know you. You've been part of these issues. You know deeper than what you're actually talking. So when we're talking about this issue, and I think that you will know a lot of root cause of the issue that is within FOLICA, but not attacking you personally and directly, but if I have to say something, because I know you personally, I would tell you that or you and few other people that I know within my time in FOLICA, what I find that you people being straightforward, call it out. I don't know what happened in your meeting. I only know what I know from what the little that I've seen. So forgive me. Maybe you have done a lot behind the scene, which I don't know about. But I would say that you were part of the past intern government. You came back for this one that is in, which is not recognized. So you have been dancing for a while. Within the whole FOLICA issue. So my root cause that I'm saying, Mr. Robert, as you read the Constitution, I read the Constitution. I don't have it in mind, but you talk about unity and bringing Liberian together, and I can tell you the very true that it was well rating in certain aspect. Okay, well rating. But the gap that I saw in there, that well-written documentation was never to unite Liberian. It was for the Australian government. The identical people that wrote that constitution was a way of taking advantage. The reason that I state that, because these people are still existing today within Australia that organize the organization. And they are the people that they step aside, but they stay within there, and they're not creating an avenue for we, the younger generation, and looking at the bigger picture, number one. Number two, in the Constitution, one of the biggest gap that I can come out and tell you that the just the corruption or just so they can have their own way is in there, is when you speak of a holiday, they left that very vague. So that holiday, and I talked to one of the Constitution or the person that mainly wrote that Constitution. I called him up and I talked to him because I really wanted to understand that part. And that part was mentioned is a school holiday. Why is a school holiday? School holiday in Australia from one state to another territory is all different. So what are you actually implying? Because when I read that Constitution, I thought about July 26th, because this is what we as a Liberian classify as a holiday. And these are the gap that is in it. And when I mentioned the Constitution, going down to the root cause, we have to start acknowledging, yes, it's well rating, but there's a lot of flaws within the Constitution. And that flaws were left there to give these people the chance to maneuver their way any way that they want to. Because it's such a vague answer that they gave in there. That's the first thing. And the second thing, and I think that we've all been saying it, be very honest, truthful, transparent. It's not about you. It's about the community as a whole. When your community succeed, we also see. And yes, there's a lot of Liberian people doing wonderful things around in Australia. How do we know? The only way that we're going to know is when the community is together. And this is when going to actually prompt the younger generation to say, oh, I know this person, You take your kids to a function, they will be happy to take part in the cultural or activities and stuff like that, to grow up in the culture. I will tell you, like, with me, my kids are half Indian. My kids know more of the Indian culture. I know a lot more Indian culture than what I know Liberian culture. They have their differences, but they stay put together. So togetherness is the root cause. Mr. Noosh, number one, you are the host of this show. We all are Liberian. We all have that flaws. Is stop backing the wrong person because you know them, because you have a relationship, because you get certain interests. We need to stop doing that. The child that is in a community that is being mistreated, we need to bring that child, not because that child is not your child, it's not your sister, it's not your brother. We need to start repairing. That's where we can start. Those root cause. FOLICA is just a
Oh,
name.
well. Oh, wow. I didn't know to me that
So
I'm
I
part
leave
of the
it there.
root
I
cause
leave it.
of
I rest.
FOLICA problem.
I
Is that what you're
rest.
saying?
Eh?
Can I comment?
Yeah. I rest.
Okay, well,
Let me comment back up 1 minute point.
okay, okay.
I do agree with you, my
Yeah, go ahead.
fellow panelist. He's partially part of that fundamental problem. Anyway, and this is one of the things I think I totally agree with you. I think maturity is another thing as well. I feel we are lacking. So Notion originally Noosh was part of the interim management, but we had differences and he moved to the other side. And I think that's where maturity at times comes in. A lot of people took it personally and saw him as an automatic enemy. But behind the scenes, Noosh and I have a good relationship, even though I felt he played a double game. But I think when he was leaving, he made his point, and the point he made while he was leaving was something I felt that, even though I didn't agree with it, but that's something he genuinely believed at that point in time. But I respected it. I never undermined him. I never did anything to throw him under the bus. I respected him, and I stay up to now. I can call him one of my good friends that I have. And I think that's one of the things we need, wherein when we disagree with people, there has to be a line where you don't take it personal. You sort of say, okay, this man has a different view to me. What are things that let's focus on what we can agree on and then move forward. And the point you were talking about holiday last day, I agree with you. That's from section 15.1b. They talk about the AGM shall be convened annually and shall be held during the vacation holidays, but they didn't define what a holiday is, because holidays may vary slightly from state to state. So I do agree with you when it comes to gaps. There are significant gaps, 100%.
Okay, I mean, I think it's only fair for me to address the issue that has been brought forward about me and my role in in what is believed to be I'm part of the what I mean fundamental problem of FOLICA.
Yes, fundamental problem. I do believe that as
Yeah,
well.
No,
I think
I
it's
wait. Before you come in, what I mean, because we
yeah.
talking about FOLICA name change or whether we remain with the same. You still are still playing. You know, I to my understanding, I'm sorry because I know a lot. Okay, I was part of past election commissions and stuff, and I think I gave all of you hard time anyway because I speak my mind. So I have to speak my mind. If I don't speak my mind, I will not be doing myself justice. And I think that you are still very much part of the meeting that been held in the way going forward from those committee board or something like that, because I think that you guys are still having those meetings. So I believe that even though, as I heard that you kind of like not part of that board, but you kind of still part of it. I think from the Newcastle side of things that you are still part of it and you still are very much involved. And because from the beginning they say when it's black and when it's white is white. So that's what I like to call it. And I know that the reason behind this thing, it was a very good intention, but I also have to point out, we all as a Liberian, our hands are not clean, you know, including myself. Nush has gone out, so he will come back. So he left us on and he's gone out. How amazing. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, you made a good point. I think he's partially part
Yeah.
of the problem as well. I do agree.
No,
I like
I
teasing him. I like teasing him.
Yeah, he will
eh?
come back. Maybe he
He
went to
will
use
come
the
back.
restroom. Yeah.
I need him to come back before I finish, Yeah. But it's a very good thing what he has done anyway, like calling this meeting and starting the talk, and maybe that will actually prompt the talk. Because I think it's about time that we all come together and say enough is enough. They'll move forward. Like it's
I
my first
agree.
time meeting you. You
Yeah,
know,
I agree.
Mr. It's my first time seeing you as well, Omar.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, but I'm
um,
interested in that name and secret, open secret. I gotta call you later. I need to know more. I
okay,
need
Okay,
to dive. I need to dive deep.
I'm back. I'm back. I
okay,
don't know what.
okay,
Hello, can
uh,
Maybe
I'm
are
all
you
back.
right,
not us
yeah,
on live?
okay, you
Yeah,
back, okay,
I don't know what happened. Continue your
yeah,
comment because I think
okay.
it's important for
So
me to listen.
yeah, so coming back to that notion, I say you have to call it when it's white is white, when it's black is black, right? I don't like to beat around the bush, right? So I feel that we all are bearing. Nobody hands is clean. Even me staying away from my community and say I don't want to be part of the issue, it's not the solution. You understand? And you people that been in there and you been making a lot of mess, it's also not the solution. And it's about time that we all come together. And I gotta say that from the first leadership that started the whole mess to the intern, Mr. Robert was part of it, you were part of it, and then to the one that was held in July, you know, whether it was the right way or not the right way, for me, I was brought on and I found out that, hey, maybe this can be different, but you were part of it as well. So I think that when we're going to address the root cause, we got to address the people that were part of the past leadership. That includes you.
Okay. I mean, it's actually very important to listen to you speak about that, and I think the other panelists share that view as well. And I wouldn't sit here and distance myself from some of the activities of FOLICA. If I did that, I will be doing a disservice to my very self. Now, I don't believe that I am part of the root cause of where the organization is, because
No,
before
no,
I
can I?
even,
No, no.
yeah, mama,
Can I
yeah,
help you? Can
yeah,
I help you there?
yeah,
Thank
You're
you,
not part of
Mama.
the. You're not. Yeah, you're not part of the root cause.
thank you.
Every one of us came in with passion for this particular
Mm,
Folika. Don't justify yourself. I stand
No,
behind
mm,
you. I stand behind Robert. I
thank
stand
you.
behind Jala. Everybody came in with that passion to see this organization move forward. Like Open Secret just said, she connected to the Indian community and she can see the beautiful things they are doing. And when we connect, Robert will tell you, you don't come to Western Australia from the airport, you ask people, "Ma, boy, somebody will tell you, say, I know that woman. Because involving most of the community here, most of them. It hurt us when we go out there and we see people community, regardless of personal feelings, but they're still working together. It hurt to know that. That I think that's where she's coming from. But you're not
Okay,
part of the problem.
yeah,
Yes.
that's
and I think that
Yes.
you're missing a key point. And one thing that I'd also
I
like to
was going
point
to
out,
address.
please,
I was going to address that now.
before you come in, because I think that what Liberian like to think, okay, and this is one of the things that I say, all right. If we are brothers, okay, my mistake is your mistake. You understand? And I think when I start off with the topic, Nush, it's not a personal attack. Liberian, we like to take the, oh no, it's not my fault. Sometimes you acknowledge things as a boss of an organization. You acknowledge that thing and you say, you know why? Yes, I could adjust it. I could adjust it. That does not mean that you are wrong. That just means that you identify there's an issue. And yes, you are part of the issue, but you're not person that contributed to the issue. You are the person that are trying to resolve the issue, but you did not resolve the issue. So you become part of that issue. And I think I make a very good statement here when I said, I said we as a Liberian, and then I started from myself. I said about me taking myself out of the Liberian community because I feel that it was XYZ. That is one of the problems, the root cause of the issue. Removing myself is not a solution. Before I came on to you people, that been part of it. You understand? So as Liberian, we all wear the responsibility. But I call you out. You are the host of this and you have been part of this. So I have to You understand what I mean? So it was not
Yeah,
something for
okay.
you to really justify yourself. It was
No, no, no,
telling
no,
you
no.
the root cause.
I wasn't justifying myself. I was trying to explain to you because I appreciate the fact that these things are brought out. And I think I have the opportunity to make some clarification. And then when I started to say, I don't think I am the root cause, because when I got involved into FOLICA, there was already a problem. So I can't be the root cause. But yes, if you are saying my involvement to some extent has caused some of the problem that we continue to experience, I can take some responsibility for that. And the reason is, when I got involved, I came with an open mind to understand what was the problem and whether I could help to find solution. As you rightly said, yes, I was even brought into FOLICA by Mr. Marcus Jada and the then interim management team. That's how I got involved into FOLICA. I listened to what position and what platform they were running on. And at some point, after listening to all of the party, at some point, my position changes. So I informed them, I said, no, I think this path we are going on the interim management team, well, we're probably not the best one in my opinion. So I sided with a position that I believe was the right. Now, if you are saying that position wasn't the right from all what has happened today, yes, maybe it wasn't the right decision. Maybe I should have just disengaged from the whole process and knew you were not going to be part of it. But yes, I take some responsibility for my actions as I was part of all of the other discussion that was ongoing. And even today, like Robert said, because of some position that I took, there are some personal feeling against me because some people felt like I maybe betrayed the struggle. I was engaged with them and I moved on other side. But to climax the
Mhm.
whole thing, I take some level of responsibility for maybe some of my action and the decision I took. Why it is true that at the time I believe those decisions were the best decision, it turns out to be maybe it wasn't the best decision. And maybe I would have done something differently, maybe. But yeah, I was just trying to say I don't think I am the root cause because the problem already existed before I got
Mhm.
involved. But thank you for speaking that out. Yeah, Ma, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, no, what I wanted to add, I just wanted to add to you, Anush, just what you said. One of the other key issues they had with the interim and leadership with the Michael Jala was that the term Michael Jala wanted to serve. There was another issue they had. They say we're going above what the Constitution say, right? They were using the Constitution at that time. Look at it now. They are going even above the time. We're even going to 3 years. The issue stay on the ground. You see, if we are just bear patient for the men to have gone for that 1 year and then call the election clear and simple, you know, but it
All
was
right.
an
So,
issue and things like
okay.
that. Yes.
All right. So as we come to a close of the show, we've been here for over an hour now. I don't want to take too long of your time. And I like the discussion. We all had this different thing now. What do you think now individually, with all what we've listened to, with all of our involvement individually, we have played in FOLICA, whether it was by the interim leadership or the steering committee or the independent election committee, whatever role that we have played to where FOLICA is now. My question to you is, what can we do to uh, uh, um, what can we do to redefine or rebrand FOLICA to become better? What can we do? What is the solution way forward? How can we resolve this issue? If you were given the opportunity to say today, tell us, if you were in the driving seat now, what can you do to resolve this issue? I'll start with you, open secrets here. What can you do as an individual with all that you know about FOLICA now and what it has been and all of the parties involved? If today you were given the opportunity to say, here's it, FOLICA, what would you recommend that could be a solution to FOLICA problem? Let's hear from you.
I believe the solution to that problem is that what I would say to all parties involved is that we need to pull aside our ego. Okay, number one, pull our children and our generation to come here in Australia first and foremost, and let us, all these petty ego and stuff like that, put it aside and let us unite. Let us look around us and see other community moving forward and doing great thing out there, and getting our culture recognized, getting our cultural food recognized, getting a lot of things done for that community, and also getting development relationship linked back to that country, making things easier for the people back home to actually apply as a student or apply for job here within Australia, and then things are easy for them to come. Look at the relation between India or China and Australia. That now that when you look in every service station, there's Indian people. You go in every other services, there's Indian, there is Chinese, and all of those things. We need to put our own personal agenda aside and think about the greater development that we're going to take to our country, and what we're going to do for our children. So we need to be united. We need to come together, and we need to have one voice.
That would
For
be your
me,
message.
that will be my thing. Put aside what has happened, and let's move forward.
And how do we do that?
Look, and that's a great question, because I think that I know part of you, and I have experienced some of you people. That today you agree on something, the few hours next you guys are talking something different. So that's an interesting question. So well, as I said, the only way that they can do that, unless they put aside their personal ego and start saying who is educated than the other person, who know book more than the other person, and who more experienced than the other person, and they'll just all be Liberian and just have Liberian interests at heart. How are we going to do that? We all have to go on 40-day, 40-night fast and prayer, that God will come and intervene.
Exclude me from fasting because I can't fast. I'm sorry.
But I think that is the only way, because I have dealt with some of the people within the eldest Liberian, with various state and territory leaders and stuff like that. And July 26 was a classic example. They agree on one thing, they come, and then our whole thing went out of the window, and we need to be brave. Take a stand. Even when you're making a mistake, take a stand and stand by that. It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are bound to be made, and these are the things that we have to do. So we just need to be able to talk to the people that we need them to come together. I think that's the only thing. I don't have the answer, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Thank you. I mean, this is the beginning of this conversation, and I look forward to having more conversation about FOLICA. And I look forward to having a day where we can actually go back into discussing the root cause of FOLICA problem. Today, we were looking at the issues around whether FOLICA should be deregistered and what our weight and support behind whether deregistration of FOLICA or something. But yes, I think I like your suggestion. We should put aside our own personal egos and differences and look at the bigger picture. My boy, to you, I mean, if today you had the opportunity to resolve FOLICA problem, what would you do? My boy, you have to
unmute. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like I said, first of all, I would take this time to wholeheartedly say thank you for this forum, and thank you to my daughter and son. For me, I don't deal with age. I'm a mother. Even you 90-year-old said, boy, I would be mother for you. So I must say thank you for that. Like what you said, I was going to suggest that let's use the platform more to raise that awareness more about this FOLICA. And take or give. I agree to what Open Secret said. Let's put aside our differences. Let's come together. If the organization will not be deregistered, if the people make the decision and the other parties say, oh, will be the applicant, we talk to the government body to keep the name. Let we all come together and build this wholeheartedly. Let have the purpose and the impact. Let's look at the leadership and the accountability. What the Constitution, the face of the aim of the Constitution, let's work with that seriously, and let that Constitution be what updated, that it will reflect our purpose and the benefit of FOLICA for people residing in Australia, and even people that we can projects that we can help people with. But first of all, we need to know whether they will deregister this organization, because when it's being deregistered, that means we're coming up again with totally new organization. So that is something our ears are open. We hope you will listen to give us feedback about it. But if it is not deregistered, yes, let us work together. Our personal ego. Let's set aside committees. Let people work together. Let's bring in leadership. Let's come in with let's treat everyone equally, respect, fairly. Let's listen to each other. Any idea is not a stupid idea, like I can always say. All ideas are ideas that is good to use to work with. The idea Robert will bring, the idea you Nush will bring. You got your idea, Robert got your idea. There's a reason why he brought that idea. And there's a reason you have a different idea to Robert idea. But if we work together with both ideas, we can take something from you, take something from him, put it together, and make it out of something. You see? So I will rest for now. I just say thank you again. God should bless you, that the platform should be used. Because look, the FOLICA here, we get a lot to do with Liberian here. We got a lot to do for our people back home. So I rest for now. Yes, thank you. God bless.
Thank you. And Robert, to you, you've been around FOLICA for a while. I came to know you through the interim leadership, as Zia said. If you had the opportunity today to resolve FOLICA problem, and you had a recommendation to make, what would be your recommendation? Is Robert there? We lost you on screen. Are you there, Robert? Oh, I think Robert going in the back. But anyway, while we wait for Robert to come, I really want to say thank you to every one of you for joining this discussion. And I look forward to having more of these kind of discussions, because I'm of the opinion that no matter what we do, it is only us that can solve our problem. And I think part of what I gather from here today is we must be honest to ourselves, and we must be able to, yeah, okay, thank you, Robert, thank you. So you're back, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I had to step away for a bit. So I'd like to start with what Mambo said. Thank you for organizing this discussion. I think it was a good discussion, and it's just the beginning. There's a long road ahead. I think it's going to be a very difficult road ahead, but difficult decisions have to be made. And I think those difficult decisions will have to be made through a consultative process. So, get those two parties to come together, lay out a roadmap of what the organization should be, break it up into two structures. Before breaking it up into two structures, the two parties will obviously have to work on a term of reference and what they are trying to achieve, be given a time period, and put that before the relevant authority, in this case, CBS. My only concern, and I don't know, obviously someone will have to check it through the legislation, given that they were given an opportunity prior to come up with a pathway out of this situation, and they failed to do so. Would that opportunity be afforded to them the second time? I don't know. There may be legislative restrictions, or there may not be, depending on the arguments that they put forward to CBS. CBS will have to make that decision in line with the relevant legislation. But I hope they are given another opportunity to really rebuild it. And as I said, all along the way, maintain respect for one another and just get rid of this small envy, small jealousy, undermining one another. Because my friend, give his idea and his idea didn't like it, I'll go through person B to undermine them. I think just get rid of that and sort of move forward. I think that would be the way. It's going to be a difficult road ahead, but I think it's possible, not impossible.
Thank you. And just Mambo, before you can come in. Yeah, go ahead.
Just one little thing to clarify. This is about FOLICA we're talking about. Please, people that are listening, no one shouldn't take anything personal before you hear something. Yeah, if my voice is a bit loud, please, sorry. That's just the passion in me. And Robert will tell you, Robert knew my children for little. They interact, that's how I can talk.
Our Iron Oma from Western Australia. So she's our Iron Lady everywhere. She's well known across the states.
Thank you, Robert. You know, so please, nobody should take anything personal to say, oh, boy, I said something. They're directing at me. No, it's about FOLICA. We're talking about FOLICA. That's it. So, yeah, that's just one thing I wanted to clarify. Well, thank you.
I can say the Oma has been involved with the community since I've been knowing her almost 20 years now. She's been actively involved in every community function in Western Australia.
Can I just come in with one little last thing?
Please do.
Are you going to let me to talk to now?
Yeah, you are going to tell you the host, so you just have to wait.
I'm waiting. Go ahead.
One little last thing that I'd like to actually point out, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that because we're talking about the CBS and what are you gonna get shut down. Once you take that decision out of the CBS and you go on to the court, and as if my memory can serve me right, I read something on the FOLICA platform about the court outcome that I think there was some delegate or the court asked those various parties and stuff like that to work together and then to be able to nominate or dedicate or something like that. I don't know if I actually read it right or not. Sorry, it's been a while, so I can't actually remember word for word. So if one of the parties decide to withdraw that case, so the party now that is remaining in court, that's what the judge gonna go by, right? Instead of going back to CBS, because this case is already in court and payment has been done. The first, I think, second hearing has been done. So that whole situation is to be resolved in court. Is that correct?
Not entirely.
Back to CBS.
Not entirely correct, but I can expand on that when I have the opportunity. Once you finish,
because I think that the court has to come with a funding and their outcome, and then be able to communicate that with the CBS. It's not just about one of the party going to CBS and CBS just taking that one party word into consideration, because the court has to do that ruling as well. So this is why it's important that we should not jump to a conclusion right now, because right now it doesn't matter about one party, okay? Because it's in the court system. We have taken our dirty laundry and we're washing it in front of the whole Australian court system, and now we have to wait for the white man to decide what we can actually do for ourselves. So I think that until these processes can be done, then we'll have a very clear understanding. Because if, in a law-binding country, you can't take it out of the court and then the judge say, okay, I'm not going to have a ruling now, go back to CBS. The court has to have that ruling before CBS can step in. That is my understanding.
Okay. I think the onus is on me to maybe provide some information on that. So in respect to the court matter, as it stands, it is a civil court matter, meaning it's a matter between two civil people, one person accused the other person. So in short, if today the other parties go and submit an application to the court and say, look, I brought my matter to you, I no longer want to proceed with this matter, I would like to withdraw my matter, that matter will be withdrawn. It is not a criminal matter where it's in the hands of the state, where the state make the decision. This one, it is a civil suit. So it's, for example, if I accuse you of stealing from me, or I accuse you of owing me money, and I take you to court, the court will listen to me. If I go back to the court and say, you know what, I told you, say, open secret owe me money, I no longer want to go with this case, the court cannot force us to say, no, 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 we must go with this case now. The court will honor that and say, okay, you brought your case to me. If you no longer wish to go with it, I got no problem. He will make a ruling on that to say this matter has now been finalized by whatever the decision is, and it's out of the court hand. So
Yeah, but
if
then the other party as well, okay? We're talking about money, but then the other party can say, okay, look, since this person has withdrawn, this is what we actually want to happen. So can we get the court to make a ruling? Because remember, it's two party and they're having a joint thing. And in the first thing, I think they meant to go back to court. I think there was a first hearing, there's a second hearing. What I'm trying to talk about in one of the recommendations that the judge gave is for them to go and talk and come together and give one committee or whatever committee to represent and to be able to steer the next election. That was the process that they were on. So when that person decided to withdraw, the other party can come out to say, okay, look, we have these people to start the next election, and these are the people that we're going to give. So can we have that ruling? And the court can grant that based on the other person already. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to go back to CBS.
yeah,
Because as we're talking,
that other party can't do that, but that party would now have to not change their position from being a respondent to an applicant for which the court will have to listen to. But if the party, if that, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, but which is also possible, which is already going to be done. Because the idea is that once that person withdraw, you give the next person the power for them to get what they want to get. And we all know how if
No,
you
that's not.
withdraw, which means you no longer are interested in that particular case. And that
Mm,
case, the thing, what I'm just trying to say is that of time until the full information, you can actually have accurate information on everything. Right now, I'm only trying because I don't have all of those information into my head. I only have big pieces of information which is not completed. So until that decision can be made, then we can actually talk about whether dissolve, not dissolve, keep, not keep. But right now we can talk about the real cause of everything and how we can actually move forward and be positive. Instead of
okay.
talking about whether FOLICA should stay or FOLICA should go, because those things are out of our hands.
I like how you continue to emphasize on the root cause, and I must give you credit now to everyone listening to us and to all of the other panelists. I must say to you all, thank you so much for taking up your time to join me on this platform for us to discuss these things, because I believe that these are the kind of healthy conversation that we need to have more of these kind of conversation within our different community organization among us, that we can now start to see the kind of change that we all so desire. Now, I must stress the need that I was shocked when my sister called me out shit away, and that was good. I love it because for me, there's nothing personal about it. But I think the key message I got from there is in order for us to move forward with this FOLICA, whether it is the FOLICA now or even to the future, whatever the organization, I think one of the key things we need to look at is being able to speak freely and being able to speak true to power. Being able to tell somebody when you know this person has done wrong, being able to tell them, regardless of your relationship to that person, tell them, look, I believe this saw you went, it was wrong. And which is what Azia did. She believed that my involvement with the steering committee, with the interim leadership, she is of the opinion that at some stage I contributed to some of the problem, which is a healthy conversation that we should have. And why am I saying this? Because this message will also go out to all of the other people who are involved with FOLICA. And I look forward to the day that we can have some of these influential people, some of these people who have been around FOLICA for so long, that we can all come into a room and be able to talk freely and speak to one another openly in a discussion that, look, yes, I may have done X, Y, and Z. At the time I did these things, I thought it was the right thing to do. But looking back, maybe it wasn't the right thing to do. And let's put those things behind us and move forward. So I look forward to us having these kind of conversation because I think it's healthy for our society. I think it's healthy for our growth because it is the only way we can move forward. So I really want to thank you all for taking up your beautiful time, your precious time, and rest assured we are going to have more of these discussions. I'm working very hard and tirelessly to get some of the players, if for lack of a better word, the players of FOLICA on the table. I'm looking forward to getting one day in a platform like this where we can have Mr. Marcus Jala, who was once the interim management chairperson, and onto this table. I'm looking forward to bringing Mr. The president of the Federation Liberian Community in the same room, Mr. Christian Taylor, Mr. Gabriel Youngway, Mr. All these people who has been involved into FOLICA. I'm looking forward to the day that we can have a open conversation, and maybe that would be a way to our healing process where Mr. Marcus can sit there in that room in the face of everybody and say, look, when I was this person, these things were done, which I believe was deliberately done to undermine my effort. And because of that and this, and the other person can express itself. And that is, I believe, will be our healing process. But yes, I want to thank you all, and I look forward to having more of these kind of conversation. I got so many messages just by this. There were people who expressed strong opinion that FOLICA should be dissolved because it has done nothing well for us. And they're not actually lying, but should we? The question is, I think there's still an opportunity for us to do better. And that opportunity to do better start from us being very honest with ourselves. And thank you, Boa, for being honest with me. I spoke to you today. You didn't tell me that you're going to call me out on the show and tell me I was part of the problem. But I love that because it is a fundamental thing that we can be able to talk to each other in the face and say, I think you did this wrong. And we laughable, put it behind us and move forward. So I want to say thank you. On that note, I will give each of you the opportunity to give your parting comment, and then we will call it a night. So I will start with my boy. My boy, please, your parting comment to all the Liberian listening to you, FOLICA member listening to you, and non-Liberian listening to you tonight. What is your parting comment to our Liberian community?
Well, my parting comment to the Liberian community, our audience, my former, my panelists as well, like colleagues or everyone, including you. Liberia is part of my prayer chain, honestly. I'm on my knee praying for this nation, for Liberians, for us, all of us, that God himself should come in and intercede. Because when Robert called me and said, my boy, I graduated from murder, and I got my bachelor in, I'll just say example, I got my bachelor in computer science. Let me celebrate my son, not to be jealous. Let me celebrate and knock my chest and say, this is my Liberian son that graduated. So if I'm looking for someone who can't face my computer, I know who to call. For me, I pray for us that God himself will intervene. If someone listening to this message and you're a pastor, please help me to pray. My son knew say he can't fast and pray. I will fast and pray on your behalf, Papa.
Thank you.
I will fast and pray. Yeah. So all I leave for you people, I leave love, courage, hope. Let not give up. Let's try hard to bring FOLICA back to where it's supposed to be. I don't want tomorrow our children, our grandchildren that will be born in this country don't know their identity. Let them know where we come from. Let them know the tribe their grandmother, their grandfather come from. Because there are men that come here, they got married. Some are came here to our single women who brought our children having children. And I pray for that unity. That's all I can say. God bless you all. Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
Mm.
And to you, Sis Boa, Open Secret, what's your part in comment before I let
Mm.
you go?
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you first and
Mm.
foremost to you, Nush, for organizing this. It's not an easy thing during this, but as God could have it, uh, it was good. It was successful. This is just the start, right? And I want to say, nice to meet you, my boy. I really have the pleasure of knowing you and knowing your wisdom and your, they say the older that we get, the wiser that we become, right? So it's important to listen to a wise woman speaking, because tomorrow I will definitely be in your shoes and I would need to pass that wisdom on. So it was really good. And thank you, Mr. Robert, as well, for nice to meet you as well. And this is what togetherness create, right? You guys don't know me, I don't know you, but we get to meet on this platform. And the more that we get to talk about our issues, the more that we get to know one another. So my thing is that as Liberian here in Australia, even before we talk about Liberia, I appealing to everyone that is watching or listening. Let's start supporting one another. It's not who is my best friend. It's not because you're talking to my enemy, so I'm not supporting you, because they'll stop, they'll support one another. They'll be united. And for people who grew up in Australia like myself, that we felt that the older people was not there for us at the time that we're going through our difficult time. Let the past be the past, and let's start to build the future, because the future is what we're fighting right now to build, and to be able to give a better future to our children and our children. So for me, my parting here is unity, transparency, trust. It's not an easy thing to achieve, but let's continue to fight, and one day we will achieve it by the grace of God. And that's is my parting gift.
Okay. Before you go, I got a question for you. You spoke about your best friend. Am I your best friend?
What? Did I say best friend?
Yeah, you
Oh
just said
well.
best friend. I just want to know
Okay.
whether am I your best friend?
Well, I reckon I won't say that. I do
Okay.
not like to deceive people, but I believe that you are my brother, my Liberian brother, my Liberian Oma, my other Liberian brother, and we are brothers in Christ, brothers and sisters in Christ. So the word of best friend, I don't know yet.
Okay, Robert, it's just getting bad for me, right?
It's on a
I really
revision.
appreciate the honest answer. Very good. I really
I
appreciate
know,
your
I love
honest,
it.
honest answer.
She's
Honesty
like,
is policy.
yeah, she's like best
Thank
friend.
you.
No, no, you can never be my best friend.
No, I
But
didn't say never. I said it's on a revision. Okay.
that's
Yeah.
okay. It's
You
been a
have to
bit.
work for it.
Okay, I got many days to work, but anyway, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much, Robert. Let's hear what's your part in comment before you go.
I think just summarize what the other people said. Repeat pretty much what they said. I think it's just unity. If we all put our differences aside and work together, we can achieve many great things other communities have achieved and continue to achieve across the Federation, right across this Federation.
Yes, and I also want to echo that. I think tonight demonstrate our commitment to putting aside our differences. I have you, I have Boye, and I have Armand Boye, and I have Zia on. We all may have different opinion on different things, but we still decided to come together to speak about the issues of our community. So that shows our unity is strong. So thank you all. And like I said, I look forward to having more of these conversations. So stay connected, follow the page. The page, obviously, the Facebook page is Nush Saki, which is the short form for my name, but the official page on that is the Deep Mind Podcast. So we are still working. You can follow the page and you keep up to date with all of the event. We are planning another conversation very soon, which I will share with you, and it will be around FOLICA, particularly around the July 26th. I mean, it's not too far along. July 26th is going to be celebrated. It's one of those festival season that Liberians across Australia look forward to. And there are a lot of miscommunication around whether it's being hosted by FOLICA or the July 26th, where it is. South Australia is planning July 26th. All those issues, we are trying to get those people who are involved with those are planning to come. And so we can have a friendly conversation and know what actually it is. So uh, that's what is going to happen. So we look forward to those conversations. And I must announce to you that in the coming days to come, you will see more of Open Secret and the Deep Mind working together. The understand that she demonstrated here tonight is important for us to work together because we can call people out as it is. So thank you all, and I want to say you all
Oh,
have
oh,
yourself a
wow.
wonderful time. Okay.
Thank you, Mish. Thank you, Open Secret.
No, no,
And thank
she's
you, Mamboa.
speaking.
Thank you. You all have yourself a good night and
Thank you,
have a
Robert. Thank
beautiful
you,
time.
Secret and News. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right, folks. So there you have it. We had a brief conversation around Folica tonight. It did not go the way I planned it to go, but it was interesting. I really loved the conversation, and I love the honesty expressed by our guests, our panelists, and like I said, it's important that these things happen because in order for us to move forward with the organization, in order for us to be able to work with one another in an environment where we would love to do, we must be honest with ourselves. We must be honest to one another. We must call out, even if we believe that by saying so will hurt somebody. Let us not just look at the hurt, but let us also be able it is all let us also be able to be open with our conversation and say it as it is, so I like to say thank you all tonight for joining us. Please share with us your feedback about the show. We are new into this space, we are learning, and so gradually your feedback, your comment will help us to improve. And keep your eyes out for on our socials to see what our next topic of discussion will be, because it's going to be good, it's going to be heavy, and I look forward to bringing some big names, to discuss some other issue. The next time you hear from me, I will be discussing um, politics in Liberia. I can't wait to share my thoughts with you on some of the things that I has observed back home. But on that note, this is how we like to come to the end of this broadcast. Thank you once again, and it's been a good time. You have yourself a wonderful good night. Before I go now, some of you may have seen me drinking. This is an orange ginger juice. This is a freshly made juice from home, fully organic, no added sugar, no preservatives, nothing, no coloring, nothing. Is just a juice naturally coming out of the fruit. And this is being produced, marketed, distributed by a friend and a brother. He goes by the name K Black, Keith for short. But however, on his socials, you can link him up. It's called K Fresh Juice. That you will see on our flyer is being shared with us. So it's K Fresh Juice, proudly sponsoring this show. There is, if you go on our page, there is a barcode that you can scan and follow him. Put in your order. I think it's 3 of these for $12. It's nice. Now, I know someone asked me why haven't he put his logo on the bottle. He's working on that, and very soon you will see those bottles around. And this is the only thing I drink now: ginger orange juice. Beautiful, no sugar added, just natural juice. So if you want to put in the order, hit me up, or you can follow him on socials. It's K Fresh Juice. Follow him and put in your order. And when you do so, tell him I Noosh send you. Thank you all and have yourself a wonderful good night.
Welcome to the Deep Mind podcast, where truth speaks louder than noise. You get that. Late nights, deep thoughts, searching for the meaning. World moving fast, but nobody is healing. Everybody talking, but nobody listening. Too much division, too much pretending. We speak about life, pain, purpose, and power. Conversations that can change you in an hour. From the struggle to success, from